Okay, hi, I'm Jennifer Anderson, Superstar Director of Radiant Rockstars. It's Tuesday night, my favorite night of the week. It's Rockstar Rally Night where I get to spend it with all of you. Um, and thanks for joining us tonight. I was just telling you guys how I don't really have a topic or like a title for tonight's video or tonight's what I want to share with you, but I want to share just sort of like some things that have been happening in my life and in my business and how they relate, I think, to your businesses and give you some tips and things that I think contribute to great success in your business, Um, so if you guys saw my post in Radiant Rockstars last week, I feel like last week's Rockstar Rally was really terrible. Okay. And I'm just going to be honest with you and authentic and transparent. I feel like it was so terrible. And maybe it wasn't. And maybe it was just fine. But in the middle of Rockstar Rally, was fighting off some pretty extreme anxiety. And I'm going to be honest with you, anxiety is something that I've never really struggled with in my life up until probably this year. And it could be because of COVID. It could be because like I have a child now and Lord, everything changes when you have a child. It could be a lot of different things, but I've never struggled with anxiety up until this year. And I'm going to be so honest with you guys. I've known people in my life who have struggled with anxiety, and in full transparency, I have always viewed anxiety as weakness. And I know it's not weakness, okay? I'm just explaining where I'm coming from. I've always viewed anxiety as weakness. So for me to even admit, hey, I've been struggling with anxiety was very, very difficult for me. Very difficult because I'm a strong girl boss, right? And for me to admit weakness is really hard. But do you know what I always talk about is being authentic, right? And sharing your real life and sharing your real story and talking about how people will learn and relate more to your struggles than they ever will your successes. And so that's why I shared that with you. And that's why I had such an abrupt ending to Rockstar Rally last week, because I was fighting off some pretty massive anxiety and I just had to go. I just had to run out of the room essentially. And and over this past week, I've let that one moment or that one struggle really get me down and really make me be in my head and really make me question my abilities or my future, or am I doing things right? Am I reaching anyone? Is my business going in the right direction? And odds are some of you have probably had some of those same thoughts. Probably some of you have had some of those same feelings or struggled with that feeling of like, is this right? Or am I doing the right things? Or am I reaching anyone? Or does this really matter? Right? Like sometimes we do that in our business. Sometimes we get in our head. And I'm sharing that with you so that you can be encouraged to know that one, you're not alone, but two, that you can still be wildly successful even if you don't have your poop in a group. Okay? You can still build an incredible business and not have a master's degree or a PhD in psychology or business or interpersonal relationships or marketing, right? You can still be wildly successful even with insert your thing here. Whatever that is for you. Whether that's a fear of leaving the home, like I don't like people, or I'm afraid of technology, or the internet is hard, or home parties scare me, or I've never sold anything in my life, or I'm afraid to recruit people. You can be wildly successful in spite of insert your thing here. I want you to know that because I'm living proof of that. And so many of you are living proof of that to me. Because through the coaching calls that I've had with so many of you, you've shared with me struggles or thoughts or mindset or things that you encounter. And you'd be surprised. You might think everyone in this room or everyone on this Zoom has it together, but every single person here is fighting some kind of battle. whether that's internal, mental, physical, external things coming to their life, whether that's heart stuff, mind stuff, whether that's actual physical ailments. Everyone in here is fighting a battle of some sort. And they're all able to do it. And an abundance mindset, like we talked about last week, an abundance mindset looks at that and says, if she can have it, so can I. Right? A scarcity mindset looks at someone who's being successful and says, well, if she can have it, well, then I can't. Or she took it all. Right? And that's not where we're coming from. When you see that everyone else, that we're all exactly the same, we're all just alike, we all have the same highs, lows, hard times, good times, we all have those things. We all can overcome. When you see someone else overcome, what it should do to you is say, if she can, so can I. If he can, so can I. And it should be encouraging and inspiring to you. So the first thing I want to talk to you about tonight is being authentic. Being the real. Being real for real. Telling your real story, how you really feel. Now let me give you some very sound advice. Being authentic is never, ever giving you the liberty to be negative. Being authentic is never giving you the liberty to complain. And especially right now, being authentic is not giving you the liberty to bash an entire people group or political organization or presidential candidate or not. Being authentic does not give you the liberty to do that and still be successful in business. Okay? And you might be so passionate about something, and that's fine. But authenticity in your business is not a liberty to do any of those things. It's a liberty to share your real story, the highs, the lows, who you really are, the inside, the outside, the pretty, the ugly, all the above. Because every business is made up of incredible highs and lows. Every business is made of times where you have to put your nose to the ground. Every business is made of times where you're like a student and you're the lowest on the totem pole and you have no idea what's going on. And maybe in some other area of your life or your business, you're a master at something. But in Scentsy, you're like, okay, I'm this little guy, I don't know what I'm doing here. And you got to be a student. Every business is made of all of these types of things. In your authenticity, in sharing your real story, you inspire others to join you. You inspire others who feel the same way or think the same thing or who have encountered the same or similar struggles. You inspire them to go and be successful too. What you're doing by being authentic is empowering people around you. And you might think, well, I don't want someone to see that part of me, or I don't want someone to see weakness in me, as I fully admitted to you just a few minutes ago. I don't want someone to see weakness in me, or I don't want someone to see that I'm not the master of this, or I don't want someone to know that my life is messy, or my house is messy, or my office is messy, or that I'm tired. You can share your story in an authentic way that's positive and encouraging and empowering to those around you. It doesn't have to be negative or woe is me or focused on what's bad, because there's always something to celebrate and always something good. So be authentic and be yourself with a desire to encourage and lift up others. This be authentic charge that I'm giving you is not so you can just get yourself out there and tell the world how you really feel. This is so you can be authentic to inspire and empower other people around you. Be authentic. In Scentsy, you have to get accountable. And you know what, guys? This is probably true in so many other areas of your business too. Of your life, excuse me. Whether you're thinking about like taking care of your body, losing weight, completing a project, like anything, being a student, right? You have to get accountable. And let me tell you something that happened to me today, in fact. So maybe you do, maybe you don't know. I've kind of shared on my stories a little bit, but I started keto last week. Sucks. Keto sucks. So I like sugar, okay? Let's be serious. But sugar doesn't like me, as my chin will tell you. So I started keto last week. And I have a thyroid disease, and weight has always been an issue for me my whole entire life. And it's always a battle and blah, 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 blah. But I started keto last week. So I've been pretty hardcore tracking macros, and I have like an app, and I put everything I eat into it, and I make sure I get all this fat in, and like not too much protein, and like definitely no carbs, you know, and all this craziness. And I've been really hardcore about making sure I drink my water, and my coffee doesn't even taste good because it has like sugar-free stuff, and you know, I don't even like it. But I've been disciplined and dedicated to this keto for the last 9 days. And I see people on keto, and I know people doing keto, and they're like, weight is just dropping off of them, and they're like melting, and they like have so much energy, and they feel so great. Guys, I got no energy. I don't feel great. And every time I'm trying to put like butter or more cheese or more avocado in my mouth, I'm like, I feel so greasy because there's so much fat going in my body from this keto diet, which is what keto is, by the way. It's high fat. But I step on the scale today, and I'm like, all right, maybe this will give me motivation to keep going because it's been like 9 days on this hard keto diet. I've been really dedicated. And I step on the scale, and like literally 0 movement. Nada. And I'm like so pissed. And I look down, and I'm like, you mean to tell me that I could have had sugar in my coffee this whole 9 days and been the same outcome? That's literally the first thought that I had in my brain. Okay. I'm like, I could have had sugar in my iced coffee. And I was so pissed, and I was so mad. And I was talking with Colleen Regan earlier today, and she does keto, and we've been like, you know, exchanging recipes and how we're feeling every day. And I texted her, and I said, you know, I was like, I haven't lost 1 pound in 9 days. I'm so over it. And she said, stick with it, keep going. I promise you, get in your water, get in a workout, all these things. Right. And I was just like, whatever. Because I was so mad. So I went about my day, and I had the temptation to like put sugar in my coffee, but I didn't. So I stayed on my keto diet today. And Colleen Regan today, she went to the grocery store, and she bought a keto cookbook, and she took all of these pictures of all of these keto recipes and texted them to me. And she said, try some of these. And she gave me 8 different recipes to try. And I'm sitting here, and Colleen Regan taking that one act of pointing me in the right direction, reminding me what I'm doing this for, of resetting my mindset, or showing me, hey, here's a way that maybe you haven't thought of. Her doing that to me, she held me accountable today. And she gave me what I needed to keep going on this journey. That's what accountability does for your business. Okay? Because there are days when you feel like you want to quit. There are days when you're like, I'm so over this. There are days when maybe you send text messages and you don't get responses, or you want to coach your team members, but they don't want to coach with you, or customers don't answer you. Those days happen. Do you know what helps you keep going? Someone to retrain your brain and reset your focus and keep you accountable, and someone who will text you recipes and point you in the right direction. Get accountable. Find someone. It could be your sponsor, could be your director, could be your could be someone at the same level as you, on the same journey as you. Get accountable. An accountability partner is someone that you trust to tell you the truth. Okay, you can't have an accountability partner who just makes you feel good and says like, you got this, girl. You can't have that kind of accountability partner. It can be anyone. Get accountable. It makes a difference. Something else I've been really working on this week is obsessing over the process. And here's what I mean by that. Sometimes we're so focused on, I want to have this number in PRV. I want to reach this promotion. I want to earn this incentive trip level. right? Any of you guys right there right now? I want to reach this goal. I want to reach this shooting star. I want to reach this, whatever, right? We're so focused on that. And we let it bog us down. And honestly, sometimes we can be so hyper focused on a goal that we beat ourselves up and we don't give ourselves any grace, and we feel crappy if we don't reach it. And then we start to question, is this for me? Am I good enough? Am I doing the right things, right? When I say obsess over the process, it's totally good to have a goal that you're aiming for. It's totally great to have a title that you're working for, but that shouldn't be your obsession. Your obsession should be the process, how you get there. When I say obsess over the process, I mean focus on the very basic, simple things that build an incredible business. Sell, recruit, mentor your downline. That's it. And personal development. Sell, recruit, mentor your downline, and develop yourself. That's it. Focus on those 4 very basic things. And when you do those things to the very best of your ability, you know what's going to come? Promotions, incentive trips, all of the things that you want in this business are going to come if you do the very basic, simple things that you need to do to be successful. It's not sell, recruit, mentor, personal development, and Happy Mail whiff boxes, creating training content, making cute business cards. It's not any of those things. Sell, recruit, coach your downline, develop yourself. That's it. Those are the things you need to do to build a great business. And when you become obsessed with that process, all of the things that you want come. The paychecks, the promotions, the incentive trips. Obsess over the process. Give yourself grace. The last thing is you have to do uncomfortable work. You have to do uncomfortable work, especially this week when I've been in my head and like questioning things or like not feeling it. Okay. Especially in weeks like this, I've had to get so uncomfortable. I got up at 5:30 3 days this week. Is that comfortable? Absolutely not. But I got up at 5:30 because I could knock out work before my daughter got up at who knows when, anytime between 6:30 and 8:30, whenever she feels like it these days. There's no predictability with that child anymore. It's gone. But I've been getting up at 5:30 so that I could do focused, intentional, quiet work. That's uncomfortable. I reached out to events in my area. That can be uncomfortable. I texted people and tried to do follow-up, maybe that I didn't do the right follow-up with. That's uncomfortable, right? If I didn't provide great customer service and I'm trying to reach out to someone to see if they need help or how I can help them, that can be uncomfortable. But you know what happened? I got orders for 2 buddies. I got orders for a country Christmas warmer today, right? Do uncomfortable work. What is it in your business that you're looking at that you're like, I can't do that. You know the thing. I don't know what the thing is for you, but you know the thing. And you know it because I see it on your faces. I see you're like, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing that's uncomfortable for me. Is it talking to strangers? Is it recruiting? Is it telling your best friend, like, I'm in this for the long haul and you need to come with me? Is it coaching your downline? How many of you are afraid to coach your downline because you don't think you know what you're doing? Is it coaching your downline? What's the thing? What's the thing for you? Do the thing that's uncomfortable. If you're new, is it going live on Facebook? Is it telling the world that you're a Sensi consultant? Is it uncomfortable? Do uncomfortable work. Everything you want is on the other side of that uncomfortability. You guys know, what does my husband always say? Don't trade what you want most for what you want at the moment. Don't trade what you want most for what you want at the moment. And that is the perfect definition of comfortable and uncomfortability. Anyone who's been incredibly successful in business has done so by getting extremely uncomfortable and putting themselves in awkward situations and doing things that they didn't know what in the heck they were doing, and they figured it out and they just jumped and they figured it out on the way down. Anyone who's been successful in business, that's been part of their journey. That's been part of the process. Just jump. Get uncomfortable. Do not wait for something to be perfect. Nothing will ever be perfect. Just like I said a few weeks ago, the seas will never be smooth. The wrinkles are never ironed out. Do not wait, just jump and figure it out. Just try, just move, get uncomfortable, do scary things. I've had to do a lot of uncomfortable things this week because I just didn't feel like doing them. But I knew that not only my current business, but my future business depended on it. Not only the here and now, but what my business looks like in February, January, February, March, and the spring depends on what I do now. Okay? Same thing for you. Your future paycheck, your future business, and guys, your business in 5 or 10 years depends on what you do now. Everything you do matters. Get uncomfortable, do the hard things. I promise you, all the good stuff is on the other side of that.